Everybody should have a seat. We're finding
It's pretty hard to find.
Sharon, down with all the kilos. I am.
Cold night, and everything's hot, and the longer we wait, the less it's going to be. Okay, ready. Good, so, makes sense. And she'll be back again tomorrow, so we don't want to pee her off tonight. Unless Sue and Sue are baking. Hey, grab a chair out of here, bring it, sit down. Don't have to stand up. Chairs can be moved anywhere you want. Everybody's okay? So, first of all, this whole concept started, my mom had a terrible fall, and I called Jane, Way, and Paul's number, and Secretary Jane answers the phone. Where is Jane?
Sorry, Jane.
So I bounced an idea off of her, and she went 1,000% in.
Oh, absolutely.
Only on the phone. So we decided this is 200 years of this part of the farm up to where the woods start. That was the original, and you can dispute it because back then they never got a deed until they paid their money. So even though the farm was bought in 1826, it was never recorded until like 1850 something. Okay? And at that point, Robert Way already had 2 wives because the first one died. So he didn't have to fight in divorce court for the first wife. That's just a side. So I'd like to ask anybody at this point, other than my brother Don, but Don's not listening. Hey Don, I'd like to ask anybody in the family if you can name the succession till today. Except for Don. He can't do it. Okay, Tom, hop up.
Starting with Robert to me.
No, you have to decide.
As far back as you know.
1826 was the date that this land was bought. So, you start.
I think the farthest back I'm pretty sure about is Caleb.
Nope. Oh, okay. All right.
I think it's maybe a James and a James before this, but Caleb, Robert A., Darlington, and then Ralph and siblings. Would that be right?
Sort of. Don?
Starting with Robert A., Darlington, Elwood, Brooks, and Megan and Jason Coopy.
Which is not really true either.
Well, not completely.
All right, so I'm going to take the official stab at it, and this is how poor records were in the old days.
Yeah.
My dad spent probably 1,000 hours at the Center County Courthouse. They knew him by his name. They knew what he ate for lunch. They knew he was coming back at 1:05 because my dad was a 12 eat and a 1 leave. If you weren't in the yellow panel truck at 1:05, you walked to the job site. Right, Chuck and Ed? Roger decided they were going to learn how to farm.
Yeah.
And then they sent Tom down a little. And stuff. So I'm going to go.
We all got in trouble, big time.
I'm going to give one side trip. I'm not sure Dad really appreciated their help, but he did notice once in a while. So for some reason, Chuck one day steps on a fork or something, and it slapped him in his face to where his eyes turned black.
Oh, wow.
And his nose swelled up.
Yeah, it's not, and all but knocked me unconscious up in the haymow. Early, the chores in the morning. You know?
6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. And then you come into breakfast.
Yeah, you eat breakfast at 7. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
So Dad invites Chuck at 6 o'clock at night to go to the Clearfield Fair. They ride in the car the whole way to Clearfield Pay. He gets out of the car, and what I heard, Dad goes, "What happened to your face?"
Yeah, that's how observant he was. I ate lunch with him. I farming. I was so pissed. The Suburban with he always had barrels of rotten apples in the back, right? And I floored it up the lane. The back doors flew open, and I got on the 550, and the apples flew out over the but I think I got his respect for being all tough.
That's a good one. I love that. And that's what family's about. So I'm going to officially take you through what I handed a bunch of these out. There's still some more here if you want one afterwards. My dad, when he started to retire, he started writing books. He wrote a book on all of the presidents of the fruit growers of Pennsylvania, from the first one until 2 guys after he was president. I was president about 15 years after him, but he didn't write that history. And then he took the Quaker history from the Lynn history from Unionville and Half Moon to present day 1998, and who was in what meeting house and how. And then the last thing he did is he took from Centerline Brethren Church, which is in Huntington County, the whole way up to Gray's Cemetery, and he took every farm from the William Penn warrant to the present day owner. But if you only owned 15 acres, you weren't a farmer. So he didn't care about your land. Only farmers. So the first owner, Caleb and Janeway, moved to Stormstown on Municipal Lane. But they didn't own this farm here. They owned the farm in Stormstown. But they had a son, Robert Way. And Robert Way got married in 1825 and moved to this farm in this is where the history's also weak. Supposedly he was a hired man for a Thomas.
John Thomas.
Yep. And then that guy wanted to sell the farm, so he buys it. He's like 28 years old. He had a son, Robert A. Way, to wife number 1. How many people realized? No, excuse me. Robert Way had a son, Robert A. Way, to his first wife.
No, second one.
Dad says first.
No.
I'm not going to dispute that because I've read it like 4 times, and I'm not. It doesn't matter. So he had a son, Robert A. Way, but Robert Way farmed this land for 46 years. Then he turns it over to his son, Robert A. Way, and Uncle Robbie is Robert. I don't think it's A, is it? L. So Robert A. Way farmed for 43 years. And maybe Ralph knows this. Did you ever meet Robert A. Way?
No, he died in 1950.
But did he lose his arm in a mule argument or not?
Something about maybe he had like leukemia or something, but
He got gangrene.
He was not in good health when
Okay.
they moved to State College, and
But
he
he-
died within 6 months after retiring.
Okay. So he owned a farm for 43 years. D.H. Way never even started farming until he was 39 years old. And never got married till 39 years old. And he only farmed 29 years because he started so late. But he had 7 children. And we'll get back to that here in a little bit. He passes away in 1944 in January. And Ina owned the farm for 6 years. That was grandmother Ina Whitley Way. And she farmed with Elwood, Robert, and Ralph, is what Dad says. I think Joe was off getting his master's degree at that time. Is that right? He was probably in college because he came home.
Masters.
He came home in 47 and built the perfect farm shop for his master's degree, which we still have in the Old Barn homestead.
Something.
So Ina sells the farm to Elwood and Emily Way in 1950. And Dawn and I bought the farm in 1985. We rented it in 83 to 85. And then Dawn and I split 6 years later. So Sharon and I bought it for 17 years. And then Megan and Jason, we had gotten a horrendous offer from S&A Homes. Horrendous. But that wasn't our wish. So we told all three of our kids, somebody needs to come home or we're going to take S&A Homes bid. And you can milk the farm to death. No more trees, no more fertilizer, no more anything. And you can double your money. Megan and Jason decided to come home in 2008. So we formed an LLC corporation. So people get all wound up about corporations and family farms. Most of the farms in this valley now are LLCs because of tax reasons, because of lawsuits. The LLC is worthless. If you want to sue the retail market, it has a negative net worth. So I don't really agree with any president in the world or our country, but Obama had a whole bunch of buddies and he allowed us to form LPs. So Sharon and I, all you had to do was throw our 360 acres into an LP and own it for 2 more years. And we don't pay any capital gains until somebody pays us money. So we saved horrendous amount of money changing ownership. So when Dawn says Megan and Jason, they own a percentage of an LP, which is, you can look it up in the courthouse. Way Family Farm LP. Limited partnership. We do not do any business, but we hold all the land. So if somebody comes in our farm, chokes on an apple and dies, they have to sue the LLC. Right now, a prime example is Roundup. Everybody's arguing. I handled Roundup my whole life, and I've had cancer. Good, you're not going to get a penny out of Roundup. Anyhow, so Megan and Jason and Sharon and I farmed together for 10 years under an LLC. And the deal was, when I hit 65, because we started this when I was 55, you have to plan ahead. It was theirs. And so the day comes that we're supposed to sell it. Nobody's saying a word. And about 4 months later, Megan called me up and says, Dad, are we doing this or not? I'm waiting for you to talk. They're not here right now, they're still working. So they took ownership of it. Huh?
Still paying you back.
It's beautiful to be a bank and retired farm. So they totally own Wayfruit Farm LLC 2018, and they're working in the direction of owning all of Wayfruit Farm LP. Or it can be transferred to multiple. Katie's here, Evan's here somewhere, I think. There he is. They're generation 7. Megan's 6, they're 7. Katie and Evan need to change their name to Way when they hit 18. She said that's not going to happen. All right. So we're celebrating Way Fruit Farm, but we're actually celebrating Robert Way, Robert A. Way, Darlington Way, Elwood Way, Dawn, Brooks, Megan, Evan. Emma is in New York City at a concert tonight, right? Tomorrow.
Well, yeah.
She's on her way to New York City, so she's not here. All right.
Well, no, she's in New York.
Anybody have any questions about? Yeah.
How much did they pay for the farm originally in early 1800s, and what did they grow?
That I can't tell because, oh, Dawn knows.
I
Okay.
might have some information on that. When people started moving in here, the Half Moon Cemetery, Friends Meeting, bought an acre of ground in 1804 for $4.
My grandfather, Darlington also bought land off the Matterns for $1 an acre
Yes.
during the Depression, 29.
Yeah, they probably didn't grow apples at that time, I bet.
Well, the apples came in, and we were talking about this yesterday. So when Robert A. Way got married, He married a LaCusha Mott Fisher, and they got 1,000 apple trees. Now, if we want to have a rosy society, and I'm not always rosy, he loved his new son-in-law because William P. Fisher had a nursery in Unionville. Sharon and I have actually gone back, and the not young lady, but the lady that lives on the farm with her husband, and I forget their Stem is their last name. She is a Fisher, and she is a descendant of William P. Fisher. So that farm has gone from William P. Fisher down to her and her husband owning it. And there's a Friends Cemetery, the Union Town Friends Cemetery is there, and they're revitalizing it right now with a guy named Doug Miller, which is at Foxdale. So William P. Fisher loves his son-in-law, maybe, and gives him 1,000 apple trees. Or, as a businessman, he grew all these apple trees and he didn't sell them all because people didn't buy them. So he gives them all to his son-in-law to make his son-in-law feel good. You can pick either side. There's no documentation of either. But that's where the 1,000 apple trees got planted in this part of the farm here. And then up, going on the edge of the hill. He also built a storage, and then Darlington added on to the storage. When the storage started getting in bad repair, Uncle Morris was working for Ralph at Foxdale. And one day, him and Connie were out, and I said that the old building's going to fall in. He says, take me in there. So you go around the back, and it's a bank cold storage. There's this door on the back side. It said BH Way Wholesale and. And Morris says, you know why it doesn't say retail? I said, no, I don't know. He says, because my dad told me if I put it on there, he's going to whip me. He hated retail. He didn't like to talk to customers. So I immediately cut the thing down, and it's in our store, which Morris did. Now, in the barn, Morris and Joe and Ralph carved a whole bunch of oxen and horses and wagons. And we took them down, and they're in a cabin up on the mountain. So if anybody wants to go hike up there tomorrow. But Ralph doesn't seem to remember it. But Joe said it was them. I guess Uncle Morris loved the carve. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Well, I would never have even looked at that door. It was a hunky door on the backside of that old building that the boogeyman lived in.
And it probably had some asbestos insulation in front of it.
Now,
Hey.
that cold storage was between the house and the barn.
No, it was above the barn.
Yeah, it was
Above
The
barn.
the frame it fell down last August.
Oh,
Jason lit it on fire in April this year. I have pictures on my phone of it burning. But our worry of repairing that or tearing that barn down, Don and I used to blow holes in the ground to put fence posts in. We should have killed ourselves. We almost did kill ourselves once.
yeah, it was dynamite.
I was probably 14, so he would have been 17. We put 2 sticks of dynamite in a hole, and we put a truck tire and rim on it. It went up in the air about 15 feet and almost landed on our Ferguson tractor, and we ran for our life. But Dad threw the rest of that box of dynamite in that building, and it evaporated. I mean, that's just where, back then you didn't even have, you just went to Phillipsburg and bought dynamite. It was like, all right.
Good old days.
Hey, getting back to the apple, start of the apple. What varieties did they start off with?
Dad says the year that he got the trees, 50% of them were Northern Spies, a fourth of them were Greenies. Never even heard of that one. And the other fourth was Monroe. Never heard of that one either.
And we still have Northern Spies, the big row out here. It's that we said we gotta keep Northern Spies, and they're my favorite pie.
We have 5 trees.
They were my
And
mom's. Yep.
Sharon baked my mom a Northern Spy pie every birthday from 100 through 104.
Part of the 100 or 101.
And good thing this year because there's not an apple on the 4 trees because it froze. All right.
And the one Apple was used, would she use those?
She like Northern Spice too, yes.
Okay.
Yep. And that's what
Okay.
got me hooked on it.
So now we're going to start. What is represented here? There was not a Wayreunion until grandfather died. Uncle Morris and Aunt Connie were married. Sue was born, and I'm not sure if Jimmy was born. But in what year is Jimmy's birthday?
47.
He would not have been born.
I think it was Grandma Way who died. No, I think we had the reunion after Grandma Way died.
Oh, maybe.
In 55, he wanted to get everybody together because they were all growing away. And then she died, and that's when we kept it going.
On that sheet. I have the sheet.
Because there's a picture of me sitting next to
Your
her.
mom.
Let me just
There's a
step
lot.
in here with a few things. I have a document that Al would printed out, and it did say.
We'll never see each other all again at one time.
It's really hard to get all your family together at one
It
time.
was, she passed away, I wasn't a month old yet. That was very hard for my mom, of course.
Okay.
For mom. So,
I want to throw in theory here. You've done a lot of the background, credit deals and Philadelphia yearly meeting and bingo. You're here in Latin.
So I have a bunch extra. I have a bunch extra of these. So the way my dad started this history out, in 1792, Caleb and Janeway moved to Half Moon Township in Stormstown on Municipal Lane. So that was 1792. So that's 28 years before this farm was bought.
What I heard was that they were first cousins and they were kicked out of meetings. And they had 13 kids.
Well, obviously the gene pool was good. All right. So what Tom said about Caleb and Jane Way is absolutely correct. They're the first Ways to come to the valley. But Robert Way was the first one to buy this. Interesting thing is Robert Way owned this farm and Uncle Will's farm. Because Darlington Pops Way's brother, William Way, Tommy Hall, owns that farm now, which is my second, and a lot of yours, second cousin. His house is that gray house right across from us. His son and him run about 100 beef cows now, a cow-calf operation. So they're having 50, 60 calves a year, and they're having a good time at it because the calves are worth $2,100 So Robert Way owned, or Robert A. Way owned Tommy's farm's like 146, and this was like 150 something. So he owned like 300 acres. But Darlington Way took this land in 29 years and took it to 360. No, excuse me, that's wrong. Because Dad added 54 on from the Chetty East property. So he took it to 311 acres in 29 years through the 29 to 38 depression. I mean, just, it's phenomenal to me. But anyhow, that gives that history. So now we're going to start. I'm getting the notion we need to eat, but we're not going to eat yet. So Sue is the oldest grandchild of Darlington H. and Ina. So.
Okay. My father, who was the oldest of the siblings, was Morris, and he went to Kent State and got an engineering degree in
weeks.
He did electrical engineering for A1, right?
No, civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
He was civil engineering. And he moved to Hartford, Connecticut for a job when he got out of college, and met Constance Ray, who became my mother. And so then I was born in 43, and my only brother was born in 47. And I guess the rest is history, so. All right.
Roger Way is next.
Yep, my dad was Roger Way. My brother Chuck, brother Tom, sister Shirley. I'm the oldest. And I'm married. My wife Sue
and we live in Colorado. And my son-in-law's name is Jason. And I got a grandson and granddaughter. One 3.5 years old, 1.5 years old.
And your daughter's name is?
Vanessa.
I know that, but some other people don't know Vanessa. All right. So Elwood Way is next in line, and so I'm going to pass it on to Dave.
Yep, son of Elwood Way and Emily Hobbs Way. My wife, Terry, 50 years plus. And our son, Sharon, back there in the yellow, and his wife, Michelle. And their son, Andrew, also our grandson.
And brothers Brooks, Donald, and Stanley.
Okay, Don.
And this is my daughter Jessica. And one of the little things about the farm and the history and stuff, and the survey was done in 1766. This property line back here is based on that survey of 1766. And how that ever came to be, I do not know. Because a lot of property lines and stuff was done in the survey. People didn't start moving in here until 1784.
Daniel Boone did it.
And the waste came in 1794.
So again, I'm Brooks. I'm married to Sharon for 50 plus years. We celebrated last year. Megan is still working at the store. They'll show up here in Jason. But Katie's here. Hi, Katie. And Evan's back there. And then we have Sarah. We have Nico on the swing. And Luke. Okay. Then we have Ben.
They're over here, Ben. I missed them. In front. Right here. On this
Oh! Eric's right in the front of me. I'm like, I don't see Ben. Sorry. Anyhow, Ben, Lauren, Arthur, wave your hand. And then we have twins. I think we're in the house right now?
Yeah.
Okay. They have twins that were premature. Started out smaller than I can imagine. And they're doing very well. I'm happy with them. All right, Stan.
I'm Stanley. My wife Ann can't be here. My daughter Stephanie is here. My grandson Marshall is around somewhere. They were in the swimming pool. And this is Stephanie's husband David.
All right, Alice.
All right, I'm Alice. I am daughter of Rebecca. Her name was Rebecca Jane Way, and I'm also Alice Jane. That passed down through the family. And my brother Lynn is here, and Todd is here, but I'll let them speak. My mom lives with John, my husband, and myself in Lancaster County. She's now 104. She was born in 1921 in the Wayreunion farmhouse, which eventually burnt down. And she was the fourth child of Darlington and Ina. So there were 3 older boys, and they just spoke on their behalf, and then her, and then 3 more boys. So they are the ones that we call the Big 7, because sometimes we use that term, but some of you might not know who that is. So anyway. She went to Penn State. She took a year off during World War II to teach grades 5 through 7 in a one-room schoolhouse in Stormstown. That is that direction, right?
Yep.
And Ralph was one of her pupils.
And Robbie.
After she graduated, she worked for Penn State as an extension economist. She was widowed in '69 when my father passed away, 1969, I should say. And she remarried in 1976 to my stepfather, Mildred. And the birth order in our family was Nancy, then Larry, Dan, Lynn, and then myself. And Nancy passed away this past November, and Larry and Dan were deceased. Larry in '72 and Dan in 1995. So I have some stories I may eventually share from my mom about when she grew up, but I'm gonna pass it on to Lynn now.
I'm Lynn. I live in Cocoa Beach, Florida, close to Sue. Sue.
Yeah, it's okay.
Florida, we call her Suzanne.
Yeah, my husband Roger calls me that. That's my real name.
So I have 3 sons. One lives in around Washington, D.C., and then my middle son lives in Syracuse. Both of them have children, and then the youngest son lives in Philadelphia. My older son just adopted a baby in my right? In my. And then my middle son Kyle has a girl, and she is Maya. So she's about 4 years old or something, 4 or 5. No, like 5.
Alright, so I'm Todd Hagenboo. I'd be Lawrence Hagenboo's son. Grandma Drick and Grandma Way is my grandmother. And I've been coming to these for a long time. 55 now. I remember being here when I was like 6. So 50 years for me coming to these. This is my family, my wife Sue, my daughter Anna, and my son is working. Abraham, he's at home. So it's been great to come to these and enjoy these over the years. Thank you.
Paul. All right, so my father was Robert Lewis.
Wait, you skipped
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm gonna skip Harold. I will not. All right, Carol, stand up.
Carol, you're like, so I'm Carol. I'm the daughter. I'm Carol. I'm the daughter of Joseph H. Way Hooks, as in Darlington Hooks Way. And my dad obviously grew up here on the farm. He met his wife Eleanor at a square dance at the Grange Hall in Half Moon Township. My mom was from Warriors Mark. She passed away in October, and some of you knew that. I'm sure some of you were there for our festivities with her life. And so then my dad moved to Chester County, and he was the county agricultural agent in Chester County for I don't know how many years, probably 10 maybe. And then he transferred to, as a Penn State employee in cooperative extension, to Montgomery County. And I was born in Chester County, and then when I was 4, we moved to Norristown, which is Montgomery County, and lived there all growing up that whole time in Norristown. They moved to Elverson in 1994 and lived there until 2016 when my dad passed away. And my mom then moved near us in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, which is where we live now. And we are actually living in her house right now. So we have my husband, Bob, and 3 boys. I have Jason, he's the oldest. Eric is the middle one, and Corey had another engagement, and he's not here. But so that's us.
Now the Robert Way's family. So my dad, Robert Lewis. Let's see. He met my mom, who just turned 99 a couple of days ago. At the Grange Fair, they were watching little baby Ralph in the sandbox, and I forget who introduced them, but somebody introduced them, and that was I guess my mom thought that if anybody as cute as Ralph could be part of the Way family, that Robert couldn't be too bad. So that was how that came to be. He tried his arm at farming here when I was when I was, just a year old, basically, he was farming up until then, but that didn't work out too well, so we moved up to New York. We were part of the outsiders, the New Yorkers, for most of our lives. My oldest sister, Linda, I'll let her tell you about her family.
Okay. Well, we've got, this is Jack, my husband, and we have 2 kids, and they're both doctors, and one lives in Syracuse, New York, and the other lives in La Crosse, Wisconsin. That's us. And they each have 2 boys. One of them, the boys are 18 and 20, and the others are 10 and 12.
All right. And
Lois.
Lois, where's Lois?
Right here, I'm right here.
All right.
Okay, so I'm Lois, I'm the second one. I don't know why Paul is speaking. He's
I'm a loud mouth.
But anyway, and my husband is here, David. Most of them got out of the tent because the tent is leaking. I don't know where they are now, but my son Kevin is here, and he just graduated. Oh, there he is. Just graduated from South Hills. He's got a job.
Not only did he get a job, but he got a award.
Oh, he also got
at graduation.
an award for
William Botto award.
friendly and
Helpful
and all that. Right, which he is. And my 2 of my grandkids, Alex and Skylar. Skylar, you want to take?
Please leave much chocolate will be.
Okay, and we have another son, Justin, who lives in Kentucky, and he does stuff with computers too, cybersecurity, and he's married, and they have a son, so I have 3 grandchildren. So that's it.
All right. My sister Lana.
Yes. So I'm Lana. We live in Connecticut. This is my husband, Bob. We have 2 children. We have Emily, who lives with her husband outside of Washington, D.C. They have 7 children. They're spending 2 months in Spain this year, which doesn't seem fair to me, but they're doing it anyway. And then we have our son, Joel, and he lives close to us. And he's getting closer to us because we're putting an apartment on the back of our house so he can live in our house. And his wife couldn't be here, but they are expecting their first child.
And there's no truth to the rumor that I married Jane to make her a Jane Way. No truth to that.
And we have a Robert A.
And we have a Robert A. Way.
That is true,
So,
yeah.
so we have 3 children. Our oldest is Robert A. He's in Seattle with his family right now, just on a vacation. They have 2 kids. They have Henry and Ellie. And then our middle child is Kathleen Wash. She married Justin. They have 3 kids, and they live 9 doors down from us. So we have a good time with all of our grandkids. They're all in Rochester, and they have Gavin and Connor, and Thea is our little youngest grandchild. And then our youngest son is Tom, and he has 3 girls. I have 3 older sisters. I tried to convince Tom that my dad didn't stop after 3 girls. It didn't work out. He wasn't.
Sit down.
And they have Hannah and Natalie and Olivia, and his wife is Becca. So, and that's our family.
My name's Andy. Oh, you want Ralph to speak? This is my father, Ralph. He's one of 7. My wife is Cindy. Oldest is Kelsey. She has 3 kids, Lucy, Wendy, And Oliver, they're all here. They all live in State College. They are. And then Lauren's not here, but her husband's here with their son Caleb.
They're over at the table too. Yeah.
They're over there too.
They're eating goldfish.
And then Colby, my son, he has 3 kids. His wife's name is Jackie. Lauren's husband's name is Sharon. He's here too. I forgot the name. Kelsey's husband's Danny Williams. And he's not even here. And Colby's kids are
Reagan.
Right, thank you. Reagan, Cooper, and Wesley.
And how old are they, Andy?
They're all getting older.
I'm Ingrid and my husband Michael. We have 2 kids, Amanda, and she's here with her husband Kenny, and 2 children, Brayden and Mila.
Mila's out there too.
And my son Kyle lives in Boston.
And I'm Erica, and we have 2 kids, Ryan, who lives in France, and Rachel, who has moved back to State College but has to work tonight, so she's not here.
That's
So
Yeah, it's getting there. So we're going to have a minute of silence in the Quaker style. And for all of us that don't understand it, when I clear my throat, it's over. Okay? Because a lot of people aren't Quakers anymore. So we're just going to have a silent prayer for a minute, and then we'll go. Okay, the caterer is ready. I would think we should take the youngest kids and their parents first.
That was the anniversary. Oh my goodness.
Right! Zip it! It is wonderful to be united again as an extended family. I appreciate your being here, as do my brothers David, Donald, and Brooks, for a memorial service for our mother. We're going to conduct it in the manner of Friends or Quakers. That means that we will fall into silent worship. You, of course, are doing your own prayers and your own thoughts and feelings and reflections as you wish. Should you decide that there was some message that you would like to share with the group, then I would ask you to stand up and project your voice, because we're in an open space here upon that. Once you've shared your message, you just take your seat, and we need to allow a little bit of time for people to continue on with their prayers or to reflect on the message that was just given to the group on that. I will end the service by standing up and reaching over and starting to shake the hands, which is the practice that Emily was a part of in the State College Friends meeting for all the decades she was a member there. So we're going to settle into silent worship, and
about my grandmother and Camilla, because in my lifetime, I think they were the 2 women that hosted Reunion the most. And I was thinking, this is why I didn't talk. I was thinking that they would both be so happy just to see everyone sitting here. I know everyone's schedules are super busy, even ours. We had a hard time getting here last night, but I think a perfect memorial to them, honestly, without saying anything, is just being here. And so I think that just being here is your way of honoring their life, and I think that's super great. So thank you all for being here. And I think my grandmother and Camilla in my lifetimes were the ones that hosted the reunion the most, and they're the ones I vividly remember. You know, the chocolate, what's it called? Black Forest cake, yes, that's like stuff of a child's dreams. Every time you went to Camilla's, there was Black Forest cake like as tall as you were, and that was like heaven. There was a carrot salad that eventually she stopped making because she told me no one eats it anymore, and she thought always liked carrot salad, so that went away because y'all didn't eat it enough, I guess. I don't know. You know, and my grandmother, I just remember in between the two trees, in the brick house is where we all stood for pictures, and now one of those trees it died, and I was actually really sentimental. Jason wanted to cut it down, and I was like, please don't. Like, the stump sat there for like 2 years because I was like, we gotta carve it or do something, and we couldn't. I mean, I'm pragmatic, but it took me 2 years to get there because that's where all the family photos were, and I know that a lot of us, even we live in the same town and we don't see each other enough, but I think those kind of memories are really important. So I think even if you don't say anything, by being here, that's the perfect celebration of life and memorial. And so just thank you for being here. For my grandmother, but also for the Way family. That's really special.
Okay, like mother, like daughter. I was sitting here and it's like, this guy did that, right? We did this. So if you weren't at the service in State College at Foxdale, I spoke about my mother-in-law, who was just super special. She included us in everything. She showed us love through her apple cakes and all of those kinds of things, and always made us feel so welcome. Her food, she would just ladle, on the table, and was always very gracious and got me included in garden club and all of those things, and she just didn't want to hear no. And even after I had little ones, she still wanted to haul those gardening club, and the little old ladies would come with all their special cakes, just like Megan said. And so then I got to tell you one more story, and I did this in there too. She raised 4 boys. She raised 4 boys, okay? So, when I had the other crier over there, Emily came to the hospital, and she gave me a present. And I opened it up, and I tell people it was the pinkest, frilliest, laciest dress I had ever seen in my life. And I brought her home in as a tribute to Emily because she never got to buy a girl's dress, So I said, okay, this is pretty crazy, but I'm going to wear it on her home, and I did. And she was ecstatic. And so I just feel like I couldn't have asked for a better mother-in-law. She was so sweet to me. She was, like I said, she included us all, our family, in so many things. And she was always there for us. She would watch the kids if I had to do something, and that's what family's about. Not about talking about people behind their back and that kind of thing. And I feel with COVID, we have missed it. We've lost that. And this is important, and I agree with Megan 100%. This was so much fun for us to get this all planned. And, it's at work too, yeah, but I made my husband clean up his shop. And actually, I didn't have to prod either. He's like, well, I probably should move this over here and this over here. But, our grandsons, right, love this building to death. And, all the motorcycles are in the spot for them, but I'm not sure Grandma would approve of them. Well, maybe she would because she had boys who did that. So anyway, she was, I think she just closed her eyes, especially with this one.
She allowed motorcycles on the breezeway.
Oh, yeah,
the garage, in the house.
So anyway, I could not have asked for a better mom. She was just wonderful, and a wonderful grandma to my kids, and so
Thank you, Mom.
Emily's life, and I wasn't present for a lot of it, but I think there's something to be said for the steadfastness and consistency of knowing each reunion, and each time we would see her, she'd be there, she'd be a listening ear, and she's passed that down through her family, just knowing that if we ever needed something, we could pick up the phone and you would answer. I was saying yesterday, I've been coming 27 years, married to Todd, coming to the reunion, and so 28 years ago was my first one, and I just have fond memories of trying to remember whose wives were who, belonging to whom, all these years, and it didn't seem to matter to them at all. They knew who I was, and I stayed with Camilla several times as her daughters hosted us as well. But what I remember most was in the very beginning, didn't matter if it was a bench or the nice couches at Ralph's place, but Emily and Eleanor would like separate and tap on the couch and welcome me to join that. And I always felt a great warmth there, either, being near Emily and her sister-in-laws. Always embraced me and made me feel so much a part of the family.
He decides to go on. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff. They comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of thy enemies. Thou anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The last day that Sharon and I seen Emily, she was perky if I'd seen her in a couple of years. But she wanted that rest at a memorial. She is with the Lord.
We're given challenges in life, and we obviously make choices about how we live through. I think about my mother's challenge of moving from one community and finding her place in this valley, where her husband and her husband's siblings all had relationships and connections, and that she had to find her own place within that challenge. She brought to that challenge her strict Methodist upbringing. If we went to an estate sale and in a little trash can of a collection of things, she found a deck of playing cards, into the trash that they went. I know at least Brooks and I have learned the flavor of Palmolive soap. Because our second cousin on the next farm had this great vocabulary of words to which our mother objected. We practiced them at the dinner table once and then right over to the sink and here it comes. Now, I don't know whether Donald or David. So the second cousin was the culprit then. Our mother could be black and white, but she mellowed in life with that. She tried to instill some moral correctness in one of her sons and used a wooden spoon that she broke over his body, to which he laughed. And that was the end of her effort to bring that morality to her sons. I do remember later in life, David had already gone off to university or was off somewhere, and the three younger brothers went on a 3-week international trip. And when we came back, her reserve was down. She hugged and cried to see her two sons.
Sue for cousin Nancy for us that are the second generation.
So we all miss Nancy Warden very much, and I believe Sue has prepared a few words.
Well, I haven't prepared, but I was very close to Nancy right from when we were really little. I knew her since I was 3 years old when her father married my Aunt Rebecca. And I have a photo of Nancy and me in, I think it was 1947, and when she was 5 and I was 3 and a half or something like that. But we had always been really close, and I miss her a lot. I keep thinking, oh, I should tell Nancy about that. Well, now I can't. Or maybe I can, but not on the phone. But anyway, she was a very good cousin for me and very close. So I miss her a lot.
And her sister Alice.
I wrote a little something to share. I think you said that she was 83.
Pardon?
Did you say her age?
No, I didn't.
Nancy was 83 and she passed away in November this past year. And she lived in Cambridge Assisted Living. It was in Morristown, New Jersey. And my last visit with her was in October. She had fallen and she was in the rehab section at Cambridge. The visit before that was very sweet, and we took John and I surprised her and took her outside to sit on the, they had a nice deck, and took her up to her apartment to see it. She was definitely like more sedate when I was there the last time. And she was mother to Pamela and George, or as we always called him, Bud. And she loved to travel. She went to London numerous times and loved visiting Sue in Florida and her daughter in Massachusetts and her son in Kentucky. And she would bring Amtrak to our house from Philly to Mount Joy and talked about how she wanted to do that several more times. But her burial was very small, and it was a green graveside service. And her children and granddaughters, Alexis and Phil, were there along with Todd and John and me. and her friends, and she also worked in a food bank volunteering, and some of those friends were there also, and a few friends from church. And she always loved coming to the Way family reunions. Yeah. So, thank you.
Lynn, do you want to talk to your sister? My Aunt Nancy. I first met her at Bud and Anne Marie's wedding. She was so very happy, especially when I caught the bouquet and her favorite nephew Todd got the
True story.
He knocked people over. He thought he had to catch it. She continued to spoil me with my favorite pineapple upside down cake and Gertrude hot candies. She was always giving. You could count on cards for every occasion, bombarded with sprinkles of love in each envelope.
And the best handwriting.
And her penmanship, absolutely, you're right, honey. And like these sparkly things, that you find all over the house and everything. Yes. She was there for us Hagen Boos. She was there when Annie got on the bus for first grade and later for Abe too. See, she was living in Kingston at the time and I was in Mountaintop, so we lived close. She enjoyed years of theater production. This was after her divorce, and you know that she lost everything in the flood when her children were very little. She enjoyed years of theater production, though I never had the pleasure to attend. Kate May, New Jersey was one of her favorite stops, as was London, England, and of course visiting Sue. I think you traveled.
No, we went to Cape May together one time. Yeah, very nice.
She was devastated by the loss of her daughter-in-law, Anne Marie, car accident. She found solace in two ways. She learned to ring bells in her United Methodist Church choir, and she rocked sick babies for many, many years in hospitals in New Jersey. Yes, she was volunteering to hold sick and sometimes terminal infants in a rocking chair. Aunt Nancy died as she lived, in quiet, unselfish solitude. She will be remembered by me and my family forever. Rest in peace, Aunt Nancy. Rest in peace.